Okay, I'm just waiting on notification. Boom, perfect. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this afternoon. We are embarking upon our summer season, and we have some great episodes and great interviews lined up. And we're honored to have Professor, martial arts expert Professor James Sims Muhammad come give us some information as well as some inspiration. First of all, assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for having me.
Sir, the honor is all mine. This is for everyone who is watching. Please make sure you continue to like, share, subscribe to the People's Podcast. Well, my first question for you, Professor, is what style of martial arts do you do?
Okay, I have a 5th degree black belt in Judokan Taekwondo, but I also have an 8th degree black belt in Sanuka-Shru Jiu-Jitsu. And as you know, that's taught by Dr. Moses Powel. Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir.
I teach Jiu-Jitsu, but I have Taekwondo background.
Okay, yes, sir. And what got you into the martial arts?
Brother, not to make it long, I'm just gonna make it plain to you. In the 60s, when when we were kids, we were watching Batman and stuff like that. But when the Green Hornet came out and we saw Kato, and I'm probably speaking for millions of young brothers my age, when we saw Bruce Lee come out on that screen and do his thing, brother, when I saw that, I knew that's what I wanted to do. And from that point on, I just started searching and seeking instruction. And I've been in the martial arts for a very long time.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And what advice would you give to those who want to get into the martial arts?
Well, the martial arts is not just about kicks, punches, throws, locks, and sweeps. The martial arts is actually a way of life. But, whenever I come across people who say they want to learn, I do an interview. I question them. Why do you want martial arts? Some people want it for their cardiovascular. Some people want it for self-defense. Some people just want it as a sport like basketball, football. But the advice that I would give the person is understand that when you come to martial arts, it's like coming to Islam. You have to submit and you have to be willing to take instructions, sometimes without question, and hear and obey, because the instructor is trying to take you to a level that you haven't been before. Yes, and sometimes people aren't ready for that. But you have people who come for different things. So my advice is first know what it is you're coming to the martial arts for and communicate with your instructor so he or she can properly guide you to your goal.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Excellent. Yes, sir. And how can people who are watching, if they want to get in contact with you and learn or train with you or train under you, how is that possible?
Okay, thank you for that. My dojo is in Wilmington, Delaware, 4115 Concord Pike, Wilmington, Delaware, 19803. They can also contact me or read about me or see my videos on YouTube, Quiet Storm Dojo. I have a lot of videos, I have a lot of subscribers, a lot of viewers. Also on Facebook, I'm under the name James Sims Muhammad Mahdi, because my original Facebook page, they kicked me off of Facebook because I put too many anti-vaccine posts up. So I had to create a new, but they can reach me through Facebook, James Sims Muhammad Mahdi, or YouTube, Quiet Storm Dojo, and the address and all the information is right there.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Okay. Yes, sir. Well, with the name like Muhammad, meaning you accepted the teachings. When did you first hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Well, it's two sides to the story. I've been exposed to the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad my entire life. because the neighborhood that I came from, it was nothing but Muslims there. We had 1 block away from where I lived, there was a brother by the name of Arthur X. Gandy. He had a barbershop. You couldn't go in there without hearing the teachings of the messenger. And of course, Muhammad Speaks was there. 1 block away from him was a brother by the name of James 6X. He had a candy store right next to the elementary school and across the street from a major project. And he would not, him and his wife, Sister Louise, never will forget him. As a child, beloved, you couldn't even go in their store and get candy or potato chips without first giving them the greetings of Assalamu alaikum. He insisted on teaching the children, and he used that candy store to push the teachings of the messenger. And he had a picture of the messenger, Master Fard Muhammad, hanging there, and you just heard Islam everywhere. And then the secretary of the mosque in Chester, Brother Finaziz Hamid, was a carpenter by trade, and he was friends with my mother and father, and he did a lot of work in our house. So I was exposed to the teaching all the time, brother. And that's how I first heard the teachings of the Muhammad. But as far as this dispensation under the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and I'm gonna tie this into the martial arts because if it wasn't for the martial arts, maybe I wouldn't even be in the nation. But where I lived at, there was this brother just got out of prison, and word was out. He went to jail for murder. He's a Black Muslim, and he know karate, so don't bother him. And he lived 2 doors away from me. So I'm like, I'm not worried about him, not with martial arts. And he's outside. I got a brother holding pads, and he go roundhouse kicks and side kicks and punches. And I'm like, nah, I can't have this brother coming on my block, taking my reputation as a martial artist. That's my thing. So I go out, and I'm standing there, and I'm watching, and the brother introduced him and told him that I did martial arts as well. So he laid down a challenge, because back in the day, that's how it was. It wasn't no katas. You had to rumble. So we broke down and did what we had to do, and praise be to Allah, dusted him. So he said, brother, we got to get together and train. I can learn better dealing with you than I do with this bag. So he said, let's meet tomorrow and go up to the athletic field and work out. So I'm thinking we go in there to do some more sparring because he's trying to get back from that day.
Yes, sir.
Brother, the whole time we was there, all he did was talk about the fall of America, the great calamity that's coming. And the Nation of Islam, as you once knew it, is coming back. Minister Farrakhan, the national representative of the Nation of Islam, brother, is back. And I'm like, I never heard of Minister Farrakhan. I heard the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And of course, when the word came out that the messenger had left, we used to hear this radio program, and it started like this. Who's the man with the master plan? Wallace D. Muhammad, the Supreme Minister of the Nation of Islam. And it just didn't sound right to me. And I wasn't even in the ranks, but I just knew something wasn't right because I had heard the messenger's teaching all my life. So when he started talking to me about Minister Farrakhan, I wanted to know more about him. So he showed me a book, The 7 Speeches. And I got to see what the minister looked like. I said, oh, he looked like a Muslim. So I said, how can I get this book? And he ordered the book for me. It cost me $7.95 at that time. I read the entire book, and I started going to the study group consistently under the leadership of Minister Harold 7X Griffith, Captain Milton X Belgrave's sister Barbara Muhammad, who was the MGT captain. She's the MGT captain now, believe it or not, at Mosque number 35 in Delaware, where I attend. And the secretary happened to be the brother Robert Muhammad, who did the martial arts. So that's how I first heard the teachings and came into the fold of Islam under the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful. And thank everyone for watching, and thank you for your answers and your transparency, sir. Yes, my next question is, so when you joined the nation, how did your family and your friends feel?
Well, praise be to Allah that my family had already been exposed to Islam. There was a family, the Belgrave's family. There's a sister, she's in her 90s right now. Her name is Sister Eudora Muhammad, or Eudora X Belgrave. Her brother was my captain, Captain Milton X Belgrave. Her son Brother Lamont 2X or Lamont Muhammad was the student minister when I first came to our party in around 1983. He became the student minister. And her daughter, Sister Yvette X Belgrade, was my sister's best friend. So my family had already been around the Muslims. And then the brother Finazes, who was the carpenter, he would come by with the writing H&G, the Muhammad Speaks, the bean pies, the original bean pie. So my family did not oppose it at all. My sister wanted me to be a little careful because she knew some of the reputations from the old soldiers, you know, how they used to get down. But other than that, everything was fine.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. What was it like for you when you first met the Most Honorable Moses Farrakhan?
Oh man. Well, I would have to tell you a difficult story. So I'll start off by saying this, but the reason why I'm going to share this story is because in 1985, Minister Farrakhan spoke at the Folk Forum in LA, and the Jews were calling for his life. Then he came to New York for Power at Last Forever at Madison Square Garden, and I happened to be there, brother. It was overwhelming. I mean, cops on horses with bullhorns telling people to go home, that the garden was sold out, and it wasn't even full yet. And all outside in Manhattan, there was people everywhere trying to get in. Brother, I know you heard the stories. So at that time, that was a major victory for the Nation of Islam because of all the stuff that was going on with the attacks on the minister. Every day you turn on the news, Louis Farrakhan, the man who said Judaism is a gutter religion. He called Hitler a great man. So it was all this negativity, and they didn't even realize the more they spoke negative about him, the more Allah shined the light on him, and the people were coming. So a word came down from Chicago that any brother and or sister who didn't have their proper driver's license, if it was suspended, fix it. If you were buying food stamps, $100 worth of food stamps for $75, stop that, because if they catch you, they want to bring you in, and they were trying to force believers to say every illegal activity that they did, that the minister asked them to do it, or it's benefiting the Nation of Islam. So I laid that foundation to talk to you about this situation. This is the 80s, so the 80s was real hot. And there's a brother very close to me, and he was the captain and the minister in prison, Brother Tyrone AX. And he had come out of the belly of the beast, and he was soldiering out of Mosque number 12 in Philadelphia, but he's originally from Chester. We went to high school together. And there was a young brother who he brought in the mosque, and some of the brothers were stepping to him, saying, "Here, brother, take these final calls. Also take this package." And the brother didn't know what to do. You know, he came to Muhammad to get away from that life as soldier, and here they are coming to him with a package. So when Brother Tyrone found out about it, and Brother Tyrone, trust me, no punk whatsoever. He's the type of brother, if you saw the movie with Denzel Washington with the brother named Mousy, the devil in the blue dress, every time somebody got out of line, he took care of business. Well, that's Brother Tyrone, and he was known for that. And he ain't no punk, but it's like, man, if they gonna do dirt, leave the mosque and do that dirt. Don't bring that into the mosque, brother, because this can be linked to the minister and tear the nation down again. So these brothers, it was two brothers, I don't want to say the other brother's name, they had to make a decision what they were going to do with this information. So myself, student minister, Lamont Muhammad, Brother Tyrone AX, and the other brother whose name I won't mention, we went to DC because the minister was scheduled to speak at the mosque. And we get there, and when the mosque meeting was over, the minister comes downstairs and he took his tie off, opened up his collar. He was very relaxed. So we sitting there saying, "Brother, are you going to tell the minister what y'all going to do?" And they said, "Man, look, we can't just walk up to the minister and tell him." So what they did, there was Mustafa. They went to Mustafa, they sat down with him, told him what happened, and told him actual facts. Brother Mustafa said, "Look, let me tell you something, brother. these charges that you bringing are very serious. If you lying, the charge comes down on you. And he said, brother, I'm telling you the truth. Make a long story short, the minister came over to us and he reached his hand out, shook my hand. I told him my name, told him what city I was from. Now, the minister had come to Chester twice, 1980, and then he came back in 1981. He hadn't even come to Philadelphia to speak. He came directly to our city, brother, and powerful lectures. So when I told him where I was from, he started, brother, that's a powerful city. You got to go back and make that city happen. And I'm sitting there like in awe, like this man is telling me I got to go back and raise the city. But the point is, that's the day that I met him. But unfortunately, we had to give some bad news, but we gave the news because we could not allow the enemy to use that to come against the minister. Because at that time, brother, they was on the minister tough. So that's what happened with that. The investigation came down. The father at that time, I believe, was the national investigator. He came down to Philly. We met at a certain brother's house. I was there, part of that investigation, which led to the mosque being closed in Philadelphia. And I never will forget it. They told us the minister's coming. Minister Farrakhan's coming to number 12. Everybody got all tight, went there. They had flowers out, food, fruit baskets. And we all sitting there. Next thing you know, you hear this commotion in the back. You turn around, and there was your father, the brothers from DC and Baltimore, but they had on jeans, Timberlands, and hoodies. And I said, oh man, the minister's not coming here today. Something's about to go down. But your father came in there, he mounted that rostrum, he brought the charges, he told people what happened. He said, I'm not answering no questions. The mosque is shut down immediately. And if anybody comes in here to try to reopen it, and you know what he said after that. So the mosque, of course, got shut down. That's how I met the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan under those circumstances. That was the first time. Of course, I met him several times before through the martial arts. I demonstrated in front of him a few times. I sat with him in private, like a little reception after we did the martial arts demonstration. And I also had dinner with him, but I'll tell you that story later on if we talk about Master Moses Powel.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, during this intense time of the 80s and everything is tight, Madison Square Garden, mosques being shut down, things of this nature, was there ever a time that you were faced with fear? And if so, how did you overcome that fear?
Well, I had a little fear just going down to DC, although I wasn't the one bringing a negative report, it was the brothers. But because I was connected with them, Philadelphia is a gangster town, you understand what I'm saying? And you just can't, you got to be about it. You can't talk about it. You got to be about it. So that was a little fear. But the one fear that I really had, brother, we got a phone call from your father. Red alert. Be at the mosque at 9 a.m. Red alert. So when you hear that, that means something about to go down. So we get there, 9 a.m., and that same brother Tyrone AX is with me. So I'm coming with the real guns, you understand? And I get there, and at that time, I happen to be acting as captain in Chester. So this was the day that your father decided to march into Mayfair Mansion. So he got captains there. I mean, I'm naming some of the brothers that was there. Of course, Brother Tim, Brother Dow, Brother Tobias, Brother William, Brother Anthony, the assistant minister, Dr. Arlene at the time, now he's in Tennessee. The brothers from DC, they were there.
Yes, sir.
Brother Minister Abdul Haq was there, known as Rodney X. Stewart from New York. Big Brother William from New York was there. I believe Kadir was there. A lot of brothers, that was close with your father. So he said all the captains got to go up and speak to the men before we march over there. So, you know, a lot of people was beating that war drum. So when I got up there, you know, I'm the young brother in the crew. I'm scared, you know, and I just called on Allah. I told him, I said, look, brother, we not going over there to beat our brothers in the head. We going over there not to be murderers of our people. We going to be saviors of our people. And the brother's like, that's right. And I, you know, I'm a little brother, you know, I got all pumped up. But we went there, brother, after we found out why we were there. We didn't know what was going to happen, brother. So I went there not to die, but to live, but knowing that I could have been taken out. We didn't know what we was going there to face. And the vans pulled up, all the brothers jumped in the van, we pulled in there, and we jumped out, and all we had was our faith in Allah and our final call newspapers and our unity. And these brothers, when they saw us, Allah be my witness, they was dropping their packages, dropping money. It was giving us money, taking the paper, I mean, wads of money. Confiscating drugs, brother. So when we got finished sweeping the neighborhood, we go into this hotel room, and your father got this nice conference room, and the MGT had prepared a beautiful meal. And we all got a chance to talk about what we experienced that day. And Big Brother William from New York, he said, brother, what you want me to do with this? And he pulled up a big Ziploc bag of cocaine, brother. Not a sandwich bag, a big bag. And your father turned and looked at him. We all looked at him. He said, brother, flush that mess down the toilet. You're gonna get us all locked up. Brother, it was amazing. The old women in the community was coming out of their apartments, hugging us and kissing us, thanking us, because they was afraid to come out when they got their little checks, because they thought they would get robbed by the junkies, brother. And your father organized vans and transportation for these women to go cash their checks, go to the supermarket, get the food that they need, and we, you know, escort them. Your father did great work down there, brother, but that was a time that I really was fearful and thought I was going to have to really use all the martial arts I had, because we didn't know what was going to happen. But what happened was, when they saw the fruit, they just submitted, brother. They submitted. It was a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
Praise be to Allah, sir. Well, I want to make sure that I thank you on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience for your sacrifice and the sacrifice of your family, sir, for helping to establish the nation in the West. And we thank everyone who is watching as well. Praise be to Allah. Brother Professor James, we have a quick 60-second commercial to break, just to announce our sponsors of this month and this upcoming season. Thank everyone who has always shown love with sponsorships. If you would like to be a sponsor and or a donor, while you're watching, please cash app the People's Podcast. We thank you all very much for helping us in our efforts to keep the People's Podcast going. I want to start off with my brother. Here we go. I want to start with my brother, Rashad, Street Premier Media Production. He has a 4K camera, a drone. He does television and film editing. Reach out to him if you need something edited done. My sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me children's book and coloring book, both of which are available on Amazon. Make sure you go out and get those. My sister Naima, Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. We love our tiny dancers. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country. Our brothers out of the West Coast, MTS Car Bros, any make, any model, any year, 30 to 50% off. Make sure you go get a vehicle if you want a vehicle. Our brother Enoch, Hip Hop Detox. It empowers youth and young adults towards a healthy choices and lifestyles. Make sure we support Hip Hop Detox out of Chicago, Illinois. Our sister out of Asiatic Minds, an online school, AsiaticMindsOnline.com, AsiaticMinds.com online school. It's an amazing school. It's starting this semester. In the fall semester. Let's make sure we support Asiatic Minds online. Wherever you are in the country, you can reach out and put your children into an amazing school. Sister Latasha Muhammad, Queen is I Poetry and Apparel. Sister Latasha Muhammad, Queen is I Poetry and Apparel. Make sure we reach out to our sister. Also, Fresh and Clean LLC, Fresh and Clean Sanitizing.com. They do an amazing job with cleaning the home, getting ready for COVID and things of that nature. Elevated Places Inc. Elevated Places Inc. and adult counseling, youth counseling, and life management. 229-344-1474. Let's reach out. Elevated Places Inc. 229-344-1474 for some youth mentorship and adult counseling as well. Dr. Henry M. Carter, King Henry's Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Rashad Muhammad, COVID-19 disinfecting cleaning services out of Chicago. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, AbdulSharif.com. And last but not least, my two books, Cleopatra, which is a children's book, and No Father, No Excuse, which is on Amazon as well. Thank you all for your support. Please continue to like, share, subscribe, and thank everyone who does their donorships. Brother, you get a lot of comments, Brother Professor, from Brother Samuel X. Clark, showing you love, saying you were one of his first professors. You helped him become a young Muslim. Praise be to Allah for the work of you, sir, and the work of Samuel Clark. And once we put this on YouTube, we look forward to the comments, and every comment matters. So we thank everyone who shares their positive energy and comments as well. My next question for you, sir, what was it like during the time of the Million Man March? What was it like leading up to it, and how did it personally impact you?
Well, remember I told you that in 1985, when the minister spoke at Madison Square Garden, for me personally, being there when the minister first stood up and seeing all the opposition, especially from the world community of Al-Islam in the West, with the Bilalians, whatever they call themselves. They're our brothers, but back then it was war. We saw that as a victory for the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the minister rebuilding the nation. The following year, 1986, the minister spoke at the Pavilion in Chicago, and the lecture was entitled A Tribute to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I was in the back room on security where the minister was coming in, and the door opened up. Minister Akbar walks in, and right behind him was W.D. Muhammad. I almost fell off my post, brother. And I'm saying, oh man, this is something. And brother, when the minister came out, back then we had our white FOI uniforms from Mexico. And the minister came out in the white FOI, and he had on the fez, it was red. And he called Wallace up and made him stand next to him. And for me, that was, and may Allah bless me and forgive me if I say something wrong, but I'm going to speak how I felt at that particular time. I saw that as Allah putting the clean glass of water up to the dirty glass of water, and let the people choose and see that Allah has chosen Minister Farrakhan as a divine reminder and representative of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And he, by being backed by Master Farrakhan Muhammad, was raising the nation up, and everything that Wallace did was just falling apart. For me, it was a victory. So that happened, and then here comes 1995. And I will be honest with you. I told a few people this. When we were doing the men's meeting, going around, the minister calling for 1 million black men. I want 1 million black men in DC. And I'm saying to myself, oh, brother minister, don't say 1 million. Say maybe 100,000. Because Martin Luther King had 250,000 people at that march. Although he didn't call the march, but the point I'm saying is, we're talking about victory for the nation. I guess I had little faith. So I'm like, oh, don't say 1 million, say 100,000. Maybe we can look like we got as many people as Martin Luther King had. Brother, as Allah be my witness, my oldest son, I took him with me. Brother by the name of Brother Leroy took his son. So we thinking that, it's going to be a nice crowd, but nothing to that capacity of Martin Luther King's march. Brother, we were there overnight, so I ran into your father, talked some stuff, stole this nice picture of the minister, and there wasn't many people out, just people gathered all over. The next morning, as Almighty God Allah is my witness, brother, turned on the TV in the hotel room. It was like maybe 5:30 in the morning. And I jumped up because I saw this capacity crowd. And I'm like, oh man, we done missed the revolution. And I kicked the brother's door. I said, brother, we gotta go. The whole world is out here. And brother, it was so overwhelming. I thought Madison Square Garden was overwhelming, but I never in my life seen so many black men. No arguing, no cursing, no pushing. Everybody was respectful. You would have thought everybody went through FOI class and learned the fruit lesson, because everybody was, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. How you doing, brother? Good to see. It was just so beautiful. And one of the reports that I heard was only one person died that day. And it was an elderly black man. He died listening to the minister. But no crime, no robberies, no fights, no shooting, just love. And the highlight for me, 2 highlights. It made me cry. And I remember I watched it on TV afterwards. And my youngest son said to my wife, Mommy, why daddy crying? When Brother Mustafa came out there and introduced his father, man, it just, I'm not an emotional person, I'm a passionate person. But I felt that. And it brought tears to my eyes. But when the minister had us do the pledge, say my name, oh, brother, I was done after that, brother. It was just like, what else can Minister Farrakhan do other than just start flying or something, because Allah has blessed him and us with victory. But like brother, it's nothing you can do to please black people, brother. Nothing. You can pull the sun out the sky, and Negroes still gonna complain and find something wrong, brother. And then we gotta be faced with all this Malcolm X stuff, that Malcolm, we assassinated him. Brother, it's a shame, brother. But I'll say this, for anybody who has a problem with the Nation of Islam and Minister Farrakhan, look at the young brothers that's walking around with their pants hanging down and their underwear showing, smoking blunts and all out of their mind, shooting each other down in the street. Wouldn't you rather see them young brothers with a final call in their hand, talking to another brother on the street? So don't condemn what you see. Thank Allah that it's somebody that's willing to go into the projects, face the brothers who do drugs and shoot one another. We're not afraid of them because that's who we are. And they love us when they see us. But brother, the Million Man March, phew, every time I see the pictures, brother, it's amazing, brother. It's amazing.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Well, let's talk about the great Dr. Moses Powel. What is it about him that drew you to him?
Well, first of all, as a martial artist, my first martial arts teacher, who's 82 years old and he's still teaching, Grandmaster Rick Barron, when I was a young boy, he taught me about Moses Powel because I was militant, and I didn't like comedic martial arts. I don't like joking. I didn't like Jackie Chan. He played around and joked too much for me. I like, Bruce Lee, seriousness. So my teacher was trying to get me to stop looking at Bruce Lee. So he started dropping names of black masters. Grandmaster Ronald Duncan, Grandmaster George Cofield, Thomas LaPuppet, Grandmaster Kareem Allah. And then he said this name, Powell. And I ain't really paid too much mind, but I heard what he said. Brother, when I first came in the nation, later part of 79, 80, all the older brothers, when they found out I was into the art, they said, brother, you gotta meet Master Musa. You gotta meet Master Musa. And I'm like, yes, sir. Brother, Savior's Day, 1981, I think it was. It was a drill competition and a martial arts demonstration, all different mosques. I mean, even the sisters was doing martial arts. Brother, Minister Akbar was the MC, and he said, next up, we got a brother from New York, Mosque number 7, who trained the FOI in New York, and now he's going to be training them nationally. Master Moses X Powel. And you see these small brothers come up, and they flying out, rolling out. It was Brother Grandmaster Anthony and Brother Xavier from New York, and another brother who I don't know. And then this brother come walking out, he was huge. Walking, he had this stroll, came out, and he just leaned back and told them what to do. Grandmaster Anthony, of course, he comes out, he does his thing. The crowd goes off. Then Doc Moses Powell came out. He did maybe 4 techniques, brother. 4 techniques. The crowd went crazy. And he walked to the edge of the stage, bam, saluted and walked off, left the crowd hanging, brother. And I said, that's the man that my teacher taught me about. I got to meet him. I got to hook up with him. Brother, he disappeared. And this is in the 80s now. Moses Powell left New York for approximately 9 to 10 years. He was gone from 82 and came back in 90, 91. Because he was, you know, my teacher was the real thing. He was a street gangster. He did it all. He wasn't no tournament type of guy. He wasn't no dojo man. He was a real street master. What he did it in the streets. So some things happened and he had to leave New York. I'm looking for him. They said he was in Atlanta. I tried to call Atlanta. They said he went to Florida. I tried to get him in Florida. Then they said he was in Bermuda. So I'm trying to reach out Grandmaster Anthony, Sensei Anthony at the time in New York. Couldn't get a hold of him. And lo and behold, brother, he came to Philadelphia in 1993. And I went there and I connected with him. And I've been studying under him ever since, brother. And I guess the best way I could tell you who he is, as far as the Nation of Islam is concerned and martial arts, Minister Farrakhan said out of his own mouth that Moses Powell is a god of the martial arts. And he said this to me. I heard it and I saw it. We went to the palace to have dinner with the minister after Savior's Day 1999. And we got there before anybody. The only person we saw there was his family and brother Minister Jabril. We walked in and you saw like a green glowing light peripherally. You could see it. And we were scared, man. And you heard somebody say, Musa! And we looked, and it was the minister. He had on this bright green Chinese collar outfit. Awesome. And he said, come on over here, Musa. You know you special. You special, brother. If it wasn't for you, it wouldn't be no Savior's Day. And I'm like, what? He said, the point is, when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan stood up, and his enemies, especially in New York, who wanted to kill him, found out that Moses Powell was with him, brother, they had to change their plans. And he was the man. You could verify with anybody you want to. Dr. Moses Powell was the man. Minister Abdul Rahman told me one day, he was in Chester, and Minister Rodney Muhammad and Brother Dow Muhammad called me up and said, hey, come down the store, Brother Minister Rahman, he want to meet you. I said, all right, come down. Minister Rodney from Philadelphia introduced me to him. And he said, this brother trains the FOI in the mosque. He said, oh, the Messenger love martial arts, brother. Yeah, I was an avid jogger, this, that, and the other. You got to stay in shape, got to defend yourself. So I told him, you know, I trained under Master Moses Powell. He said, Moses? He said, man, where is Moses at now? I said, he lives in Vermont. He said, in Vermont, ain't no black people up there. You know how Minister Rahman is. So I called Moses on the cell phone. They talked like old friend. He hung up the phone and he told me this story, and I'm gonna share it with everybody. He said that back in the first, the mosque in New York used to have trucks that they rented from the Italian mafia. And the fish and the papers would be transported with these trucks. Somehow, I don't know what happened, the rent didn't get paid and the trucks got confiscated with the products from the nation on the trucks. Captain Yusef Shaw called one man, and this is Abdul Rahman telling me this, and Minister Rodney, Brother Akbar from Philadelphia, and Brother Dow X. Jones was my witness. He said, brother, he called Musa, and nobody know how Musa did it and did what he did, but they said he was so connected in the street that the mafia respected him. And that night around 1 a.m., all the trucks was lined up back in front of Mosque number 7 with all the products in it due to Master Musa Muhammad. He told me another story. that when Captain Shaw got the word that Moses was going to be training the men in New York, it was some cutthroat brothers in New York that did martial arts. And they told Captain Shaw, all due respect, Captain Joseph, but this brother, we don't know him. He new in the nation. If he's going to come and train the men, he got to come through us. So he said, all right, I'll tell him. He said, Musa, these brothers said that you got to come through them. According to Minister Rockman, he said he witnessed it. He said, Musa told Captain Shaw, tell them brothers to bring their breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And he beat them like they was babies, brother. And from that day on, he was known as the trainer of the FOI in the Nation of Islam. I'm gonna tell you one other story. This is the story that I was told. They were in Libya with the minister in the early 80s. And somehow they came out of a room or something, and some of the Libyan guards pulled their automatic rifles pointed towards the minister because they didn't know what was going on. And Master Musa jumped in front of the minister, disarmed the brother, took his rifle from him, swept him out, and one of the other guards hit him in the mouth with the butt of the rifle and knocked his teeth out. Colonel Muammar Ghadaffi, may Allah be pleased, offered Moses Powel a home and a salary to stay in Libya to teach and train his soldiers. And he told him, no, sir, brother, my mission is at home with these brothers. Brother, that's powerful. That's powerful.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir.
So that's my teacher. As you know, he's also the teacher of just about every martial artist in the nation. Grandmaster Anthony's a student of his, and powerful man, very humble man, very humble man. When we got invited, well, actually, he got invited after Savior's Day. Min Farrakhan Jr. ran to the edge of the stage as we were walking out, and he said, Master Musa, my daddy said, come to the house right now. So we thinking we're going to just transport Moses Powel to have dinner with the minister, and we're going to just hang out, eat some bean pies and chill until, it's over. So he said, well, y'all going in with me. He was like, no, Doc, the minister invited you, we can't come. And he said, look, man, y'all coming in with me. And we like, oh man, this ain't gonna work. He said, just follow my lead, come with me. We walked up to the palace, and the brothers that was in the vestibule area doing the search, when they saw him, they was like, oh man, they couldn't believe it was him, because he trained most of the brothers. So they was talking to him, all happy to see him. He said, man, come on, do your job. And it was like, man, what we gonna search you for? So they searched him. We walk in the palace, I told you what happened. We trying to convince him that we're not gonna get in. He said, and I quote, if y'all don't go in, I'm not going in. Now that's a level of being humble that you don't find in the nation a lot, because everybody want to hobnob with the nation, the national officials and the minister. If y'all don't get in, I'm not going in. And lo and behold, we got in. Then the minister, after we talked, we had the minister for a half hour to ourselves, just talk. He said, Musa, I want you going to stay for dinner? He said, yes, sir. He said, all right, I want you to sit at my table. And Moses Powel said, as Almighty God allows my witness, brother minister, all due respect, I want to sit and eat with my family. Talking about me and two brothers that was with us. We're like, no, Doc. And the minister was real cool. He said, oh, Musa, no problem. I'll set up a table right next to my table. Brother, Moses Powel is the real deal. A lot of people talk about, security and handling business. He was the real deal. Your father could bear witness to it, and all the brothers that was there in the early 80s, they know, and the first.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Beautiful.
I didn't mean to go on long, but you talking about my teacher. I love my teacher, brother.
Beautiful. Yes, sir. And thank you for your great testimony. Thank everyone who's watching the People's Podcast. Now, my next question for you, sir, does he have biological children?
Yes, sir. Dr. Moses Powel has, believe it or not, all daughters. All daughters. In fact, one of the daughters is in Atlanta, Georgia with you, Sadiqa Powell. And tell you another funny story. This is straight up. The minister came to Atlanta to speak, and he brought Sadiqa and her mother up on stage. Brother Joshua Farrakhan and Louis Farrakhan Jr., she wanted to meet the minister. So they take her to the hotel and open up the connecting room, and there's the minister sitting there. She sits down in front of the minister, and the minister tells her, and this is her telling me the story. As long as I'm alive, sister, you gotta open, because your father was definitely my brother. And she said, well, tell me something about my father. He said, well, I can tell you a lot of stories. He said, but you might want to talk to Josh and them. They got all kinds of stories. And then a story was told that, I'm not sure how it went. I know it was Joshua, maybe Mustafa. They went to pick up Moses from the airport because he had been out doing a seminar somewhere, and they was bringing him back. And they rolled through a neighborhood, and when he was at the stoplight, a bunch of white boys out there kicking and banging on the car, calling them niggas, niggas, niggas. And they was going to take off. Moses, home. Let me out. And y'all go ahead. I got this. Let me out. They said, no, Master Musa, we can't do that. He said, let me out. And of course, when Musa say what he want, you're going to give me what he want.
Yes, sir.
They let him out. Now, you can talk to anybody you want to verify the story. They let him out. And they said, as they took off, they looked back and all you saw was white was going up and coming down, going up and coming down. And later on, Moses showed up at the house, not a mark on him. Now, that's what was told to me. I don't know, but I tell you what, he was a bad brother, man. He was a bad brother. He was
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir.
So, go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
I was saying, once again, for people who want to study and train with you so they can get some of this amazing martial arts, where can they go?
4115 Concord Pike, Wilmington, Delaware, 19803. They can go to YouTube, Quiet Storm Dojo, see all the videos, classes, some of the children, the adults, seminars that I've taught, and all the information is there. And they can also reach me on Facebook, James Sims Muhammad Makbi. And they can message me, inbox me, however they want to do it.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Well, in your tenure in the nation, sir, what has been your greatest trial, and how have you overcome that trial?
Well, I got a couple, but I'll tell you one that would, 2009, March 19, 2009, a 19-year-old son, Farad Najib Muhammad, was killed. Brother, that right there was my greatest trial. Because that's a situation that would make you or break you. And I've seen a lot of people lose faith behind stuff like that. But I tell you, brother, I'm gonna keep it real in the nation. We love our brothers when we see them, but it's a lot of politics and a lot of stuff. And it's the same thing in the martial arts and Olympics. You got brothers, it's a lot of brothers in the nation that are in Olympics. And we don't all get along, but we respect one another. Brother, I got so many phone calls from brothers that really probably don't even like me. I mean, the love that came, brother, it was unbelievable. And when the family car pulled up at the place where the gymnasium was being held, the first person I saw was Cheryl Powell, Dr. Moses Powell's daughter. Brought tears to my eyes. Saw some of the Grand Masters there, And that was a heck of a trial because I got to deal with my children and their emotion, and I got to deal with my son's mother. So that morning, 5 a.m., I got down and I made several rakats, brother. And I asked, when I pray, I don't pray traditionally. I mean, I pray traditionally, but when I say my personal prayer, my dua, I speak to Allah like I'm talking to you. And I ask Allah, oh Allah, take my hurt, pain, and emotion and put it on the back burner so I can be strong for my family, because they're going to need me at this time. Because I got brothers calling me up, brother, we coming down, we going to handle. Nah, a lot of stuff was coming at me. And I asked Allah specifically to remove all my emotion and all of my hurt so I could just be strong for my family. And I got a phone call from brother, the same brother, brother Tyrone AX, called me up and said, brother, I don't know what's going on here, brother, but it's a whole bunch of white people down here, brother. I said, what are you talking about? He said, brother, it's a whole bunch of white people here. I said, what? I said, I'm on my way. I told my sons, I said, I'm bold. Next thing you know, I hear some footsteps behind me. Two of my sons, they coming right behind me, because they want to know what's going on. Brother, I got there, people outside, packed. People inside. This was the viewing, of course. And I walked in, and I saw all the people, and I saw the love, man. And I looked at my son for the first time, man. And, Sunni Muslims from Masjid al-Fajr, Masjid Mustaqim, and Muslims from Masjid in Philadelphia, 60th Street Masjid. It was like all wanting to, they fighting over who going to prepare the body. I told them, no, sir, the Nation of Islam got this. So, brother, in Philadelphia, masterful. And they did a beautiful job, man. And when I saw my son, all that I asked for from Allah happened at that moment. And I was able to handle it and keep my family where they needed to be. So that right there was the hardest trial for me, brother. Because and I've been through some trials in the nation as a young brother, all kind of stuff happened. But that right there took me, and I found I no longer believe in Allah. I know Allah. I'm talking to him specifically to do something with me so I can overcome this difficult time. And brother, one of the Sunni Muslims came and told me, said, brother, no disrespect to Minister Rodney Muhammad, but it was no need for him to come there to do that janazah, because everything you said, it should have been videotaped and given to all the masjids around. And I had contacted your uncle, because your uncle and I are very close, man. And I asked him to come and do the janazah because he knew my son personally. Although Minister Rodney knew him, I wanted somebody that I was close with. Minister Rodney, of course, showed up, and your uncle showed up, but I didn't even know he was there, but I saw him standing there. But that was a heck of a trial. Sorry to go so long with it, brother.
No, by all means, beautiful, sir. Praise be to Allah. What was your greatest joy in your tenure in the nation?
It would have to be when I went. I know I told one story about going having dinner with the minister. We went to Chicago for Savior's Day. I'm traveling with Moses Powel. We stayed at Grandmaster Anthony's house. We told that it's a FOI class at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. And the entire FOI class is dedicated to Moses Powel. We get up at 4 a.m., we pray. Had a little bit of coffee. Marched into this, when at Savior's Day, when we have the believers meeting or the FOI class, and we have a big room with the dividing doors open up, you know how big that is. And then we have the graduation, and they open up a big venue. It was a room huge like that, brother, for FOI class at Savior's Day, 1999. And when we walked in, all you heard was, long live Muhammad, long live Muhammad. Brother, it was approximately 1,500 FOI in that room, ready to train and be taught by Dr. Moses Powel. Brother, that blew my mind. And that same day is the day that he decided, and we knew about it because we had talked with Doc. he promoted Grandmaster Anthony to 10th degree black belt in front of all of the FOI doing FOI class. So Savior's Day 2019, I had reminded Grandmaster Anthony, this was like an anniversary of that. We had a class at 6 a.m. and he gave me the microphone and told me to tell that story to all the believers that were there for the martial arts class. So that was one of the greatest moments for me as an FOI. But when we went to Savior's Day, we got front row VIP seat because not we, but Moses Powell got the treatment. We just happened to be with him. And then, of course, we went to the palace and had dinner with the minister and had approximately a half hour of just conversation with the minister. Brother, that was powerful. That was powerful.
So beautiful, beautiful. And thank you. And so many people for showing you love in the comments, for playing Allahu Akbar. Beautiful. Thank you, Brother Taylor. Thank you for everybody who's always watching and showing love to the people's podcast. My next question for you, sir, is what advice would you give to future husbands?
Ooh, brother, you talking to the right person. And most people say, well, how did this brother qualify to give advice to husbands? Because I was a terrible husband. I messed up. So I know what I'm talking about. Brother, first thing, you know this from FOI class. How you gonna, being married, brother, is like martial arts. You gotta train. You gotta be prepared. You gotta have a job. But having a job don't mean nothing if you don't know what to do with the money when you get paid. You gotta be a good listener. You can't be a tyrant and say it's my way or no way. You gotta be able to be compromising. You gotta be able to be a leader, but a follower at the same time. And it's hard dealing with one, brother, because let me say this to you, and this is not off subject. My wife is an 8th degree black belt in jiu-jitsu, Professor Dominic Riochet Center. Her teacher is Little John Davis, one of Moses Powell's most popular students. And she also trained alongside Grandmaster Anthony, known him for over close to 40 years. I'm teaching martial arts to women, MGT and Vanguard, and even Sisters from the Street. And the program that I'm teaching is blowing up. Social media, they calling me from Newark, Baltimore, DC, Philly, Jersey. I was getting down, brother. And one day she said to me, what makes men think that they can teach women martial arts? I said, what do you mean? You don't see what I'm doing? She said, well, answer me this question. How do you deal with a woman who is going through a menstrual or whatever and going through it or menopause or having some serious women issues? She's in the class and you howling and screaming and jumping in her case because you think she's not paying attention, but really she's going through issues that you can't even dream about because you're not a woman. How do you handle that? How do you teach a woman to be a woman and you're not one? And I was like, man. So I tell you that story to say, you have to learn how to listen, find out what she wants, find out what her needs are, and then make your move. Because a lot of times as men, what we do, we say, oh, I'm gonna do this for my wife, I'm gonna do that for my wife. And that ain't even what she wants. So we have to learn how to be more like a woman, but be a man at the same time. That's my advice.
Beautiful.
Be a great listener. Be a great listener, man, because they got a lot to say. You know, sometimes they want to talk when the fight is on, or the game is on, and it's like, yo, don't you see I'm watching the game? You know, Mayweather fighting. Is that more important than what I got to say? It's like, oh man. So that's the problem. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand, yes, sir. I understand completely.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Beautiful advice, sir, and a beautiful analogy dealing with, the martial arts of teaching a woman. What do you do for fun, sir?
Oh, brother, gotcha. Before COVID, I love going to shows. I love going to plays. I love going out to dinner. You know, Broadway, R&B shows, folk shows. That's my thing, you know. And always, I love to eat, man. I love to eat. I love going to nice restaurants. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. I play the drums.
Okay.
Listen to all types of music, and I also ride a motorcycle. That's my stress. That's how I get the stress off. And
Yes,
when we get done with this, as soon as the sun go down a little bit, I'm jumping on that Harley, baby. I gotta get that stress. So that's what I do for fun. I love comedy. I like going to comedy shows. That's what I do for fun. I ain't one of them stuck up brother. I'm down to earth, man. You know.
Praise be to Allah. Well, okay. Well, I have a show on the People's Podcast called Top 5, where we discuss the top 5 different things in pop culture, and one of the ones that always comes up is stand-up comedians. You said you're a fan of comedy. Who was your favorite comedian of all time, Dylan, as far as stand-up?
Well, can I say 2 names? Because I don't want to be disrespectful.
Yes, sir.
Pound for pound, undisputed. Matter of fact, this person shouldn't even be in the comparison. He should be on an island by himself. That's Richard Pryor. See, I'm old school. I ain't, you know what I mean? Richard Pryor was he was like, he set the standards and everybody copied. And then you had Red Fox. And that's why you probably don't know who that is, but Red Fox was funny as hell, brother.
Yes, sir.
Those two right there, awesome. But today, here were my favorite comedians today. Dave Chappelle, Cat Williams, Corey Oakums, who was a fan of the Minister,
yes,
as
sir.
you know.
Yes, sir.
And what's that boy's name? I went to see him. David, what's his name? You know what I'm talking about. From Friday. Played it All About the Benjamins.
Oh, Mike Epps.
Mike Epps. So Cat Williams, Dave Chappelle, Mike Epps, Corey Oakums. And I'm gonna tell you, I like what's the brother name? Oh man. Well, I hope maybe he's not watching. He got a radio show. He was one of the kings of comedy, not Steve Harvey, the other brother.
D.L. Hughley.
D.L. Hughley. I love that brother because he got a divine mind, man. He be dropping some heavy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Of course, rest in peace, Bernie Mac was a bad brother too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He was bad, man. I mean, it's a whole lot more, but I'm just giving you the ones that stand out.
Absolutely. Will you ever write a book on your personal life?
I'm glad you brought that up. Since you do commercials,
yes, sir,
and you talk about sponsors, I gotta say this: the brother that I talked to you about, brother Tyrone AX, the brother who went and told Spring Captain about what happened in Philly, he supports you all the time financially. He sent it in. He loves your show. I just want to let you know that. I wrote a book in 2009. This book is called 9 Peer Forms, the Fighting System of Dr. Moses Powel. And if you can see it, it's patterned after 7 speeches. Because you see Moses Powel in the middle and you see me going around. When my son was killed, I had a lot of energy. I had a lot of stuff going on. So what I did, I used that energy to write this book. And I also will produce a DVD concerning the book. I got the book published, it's copyrighted, and I got a couple printed. But what happened after I took my time and went through it, I was advised not to put it out because there's so much more that I need to add to it. Because I got a lot of things to say concerning martial arts and Dr. Moses Powel. So as far as a book about my life, nah. But as far as martial arts, absolutely yes. And one more commercial. My wife is an author too. She wrote this book. It's the bomb, brother. As you can see, Lil John Davis in the background. She's the highest ranking woman in Kumite Jiu-Jitsu. Gotta get this book. So my life is not over yet, beloved. So I am not writing a book about my life. I still got great things to do. Praise be to Allah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But what do you want your dealing with the loss of your son, and you said you channeled it to writing a book. what advice would you give to people who are mourning or dealing with the loss of a loved one?
Well, first of all, the advice I want to give to other people: don't think that it's okay to just walk up to a person and talk about their son or their daughter that they lost, because they may not be able to handle that. They sometimes you gotta lie to yourself that it didn't happen. You know, I want to grieve. See, I don't put my grief on other people. And I don't want nobody putting their grief on me. I'm a great listener, but I'm not going to go to nobody crying, oh, my son, my son. I'm not doing that. I talk to myself and I talk to Allah. So sometimes people just start talking. Hey, how'd your son die? Like, whoa. You understand what I'm saying? So my advice to them is try to find out who God is. Not faith or belief. I'm talking about knowing him and understanding. Because when your child dies, Brother Joshua, a part of you dies too. And hey, brother, find God. And how do you make your child live forever? You mention their name and you talk about it every day. And you talk about the good times. And when you're with the family, you can talk about the bad times and laugh about it. Keep them alive. Because crying and getting upset and getting emotional and stressing out does not change the situation. So you're better off just seeing the positive side of something dark. Find light contained in darkness.
Yes, sir.
And you can only do that if you seek it light. What? So understand that a part of you has died when that child dies, but you still have to live because you have other children that depend on you. I got grandchildren, they depend on me. I can't die, my son died, but he still lives.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So thank you for the questions. And you know, you do martial arts as well. I know, I do interviews as well, brother. And you never talk about your martial arts. I noticed that.
Yes, sir. It's just something I don't talk about, but we can talk offline about it for sure. We can definitely talk about it offline. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Sir, I'm just a humble brother.
Yes, sir.
What type of music do you listen to?
All music, but I love jazz, I love R&B, I love funk. I love singing groups. You name it. I done seen it all. I done been in so many shows, brother. Sometimes some groups I like so much, I probably could go up there and join in with them because I know their routine. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I was speaking to my sisters the other day about Sly and the Family Stone. That's like one of my favorite groups of all time. Are you a fan? Because I never hear people talk about them. I feel like I'm the only man.
Sly and the Family Stone opened the door for a lot of the funk groups. They were some bad brothers, man. Sly was a bad brother. He was a genius.
Yes, sir.
And what he did, man, his band was so awesome that when he got messed up on drugs, his bass player, who was Larry Graham, stepped away and pulled them and formed his own group called Graham Central Station, if you ever heard of them. And they was bad.
I didn't know that.
Yes, sir. And one thing Prince copied from Sly and the Family Stone, he admits it. He copied from my favorite group of all time. In fact, they just like Richard Pryor. I don't even compare them to other groups. Everybody loved Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I give them their due respect. But there is no group out there that did and is doing what Parliament Funkadelic and Bootsy did. We talking about the mothership connection, brother, the nation. You understand? The mothership got to land, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's my favorite group. The Sly and the Family Stone opened the door for Parliament Funkadelic as well because, his style, he gave everybody in his band an opportunity to do a solo in just about all their songs. That's unheard of. He wasn't selfish.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. What would you like your legacy to be, Professor James Sims Muhammad?
Number one, that I try to treat people the way I want to be treated. I always show love. I always show respect, even to those who try to block me in the nation, outside the nation, I always try to show love. And I'm a man. So if you say something or do something, I'm coming to see you. And we're going to talk about it. I ain't going to talk to Brother Joshua or Brother so-and-so. I'm coming to talk to you. So I just want my legacy to be that I try to treat people the way I want to be treated. And I'm not here to hurt nobody. I'm here to help if I can. But don't come at me wrong, because I'm going to come at you right. And I always try to encourage people to talk to God every day so that you can experience God inside of self. Because the teaching of the Elijah Muhammad is not designed for us to be idol worshipers or polytheists. The teaching of the Elijah Muhammad produces what? A God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Am I right or wrong? So
right.
I try to encourage people, find God inside of you. And
yes, sir.
God,
yes, sir.
let your God shine, you know? So that's what I want my legacy to be, that I tried to help and be a brother and treat people the way I want to be treated. Yes, sir.
Beautiful. Well, you've done a great job today, sir. I want to thank you for coming on the People's
Podcast. Thank you.
I want to thank everyone who was watching. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam. Soldier. Praise be to Allah.
Yes, sir.